jump on as well.
Hashtag the show.
That is right. You got the honey badger coming to you straight from Winston-Salem in the dirty South. If y'all don't know what that's talking about, Ziggy made a video today, put me in the top 10 of videos of people to watch on YouTube shows, whatever channels, and he called me the honey badger. I've been hearing it from my friends all day, so just embrace it, you know. So there you have it. Now I can get back to my regular channel. So if y'all are wondering why that was on my thumbnail and all that, that's the reason why. So, but tonight we got Dr. Carlos coming by saying hi to us tonight. Some wisdom. So that means Eric might be in chat sometime tonight. So he'll be paying for everything. And
he's always pays.
Y'all heard last week, or week before, I invited Brad, which he's always got an open invite anyway, one of the friends of the channel. How you doing tonight, Brad?
I'm fantastic. I'm just
glad
I could be on the rowboat to the National with you.
That's right. We were talking about it before.
I'd like to amend that, though. I'm thinking leaky rowboat. You will need to do several repairs to the rowboat to the National.
Well, if we're all in it, it's going to be leaky.
Yeah.
I like to say hi to Carlisle, Brian. What's up, buddy? Sadler Fan 21. Is this the last Big Scott live stream until next week?
That should have been the title. That should have been the title. The last live stream. ... I've heard this works. I've heard it works.
And what's up, Jeff? Yeah. Oh, let's be nice, okay?
I am a man of peace, Scott. I can't believe you'd even suggest otherwise. I don't know about Brad. Brad looks like a troublemaker up there, but I assure you, I am a man of peace.
We had to bring Brad. I think is the only one that on YouTube community that hasn't watched the video. So we were talking about it beforehand. He had a little part 2 on his going away, but he also said he might still do videos, which that's his decision. Whatever he wants to do, go for it, man. I'm sorry that you said you made your first video for your 200 viewers and not for anybody else, but you should have made it more private. I guess.
Scott, look. Jokes aside.
What's up,
Brad? I'm gonna be nice. Jokes aside, if that was actually your goal, may I offer a suggestion, a critique? If that had been your goal, how about a title like, I'm just spitballing this, how about channel update?
Right.
How about something that isn't very dramatic? Channel update might get the job done.
Right.
That might be enough. The final video might be the opposite of that. It might be a scream into the ether for attention.
Yeah.
If you had added Rand to the beginning of it and put Jeff Wilson on the thumbnail, though, chef's kiss.
Yeah, that is. Yeah. However, there is.
Yeah,
I like that, Eric. Nice.
Exactly.
I was wondering where you were going.
I knew that's no. When he said airport, I knew exactly where it was going. It's like, Eric, well played. Not very man a piece of you. I can't co-sign it officially, but I like where you went there.
Yeah, that was. I'm not definitely not laughing at this gentleman. Like I said yesterday, I didn't know him before this video. Ed brought it to my attention. Like I said yesterday, he brings a lot of videos to my attention. What's up, Joe? So, you know, I watched it, and like I said, I have 600 some subscribers. I don't get 200 views per video, but I do get around 100 on some, and not so. Like I said, it seems like when I show cards, I get less. But you know,
maybe if it was the last card pickup video.
yeah. And I heard him. I heard what he was saying, and I heard him, and I knew what the gist was. But yeah, I didn't. I'm not with the reasoning. And that's why I went into why I make videos, and that's where our similarities changed. Imagine reaching 600 subs in less than a year, and that not being enough. See, I didn't know how long he's been on here.
10 months. So apparently I'm an OG subscriber because I was subscribed before it was cool. I actually was subscribed to his channel.
I'm still not
I
didn't know why.
I had actually been. I've watched some of the podcasts he's done with Shoebox Legends, and I've seen some of the videos, and
I've seen some of those. I didn't know who he was though.
So again, being fair here, I've seen some of the videos, I've seen some of the podcasts and stuff. I think it's decent, but I'm not surprised that it wasn't getting 1 million views because when you're collector centric and very niche, it's tough to. But here's the thing: 600 subscribers in about 10 months. Truthfully, is actually very good.
Awesome.
He's quite good.
I mean, I've been
very, very good.
Brad, if I'm not mistaken, you just passed 1,000 this year, right?
Yeah, I did. I finally got over the 1,000 mark without ever running a sub contest. I'm proud of it.
Yeah, I mean, and Brad is an OG. I've been doing this. I'm going on my 7th year. I'm at 600 and some, but like I said, I am very happy with where I'm at. This is Sunday night is kind of my thing now. I'm not gonna say it's my flagship. I don't really have a flagship. I've done a lot.
I was gonna say, Scott, you got to be careful. As soon as you call something a flagship, then it sticks because the Friday became the flagship. Once it became the flagship, it was done. It was over.
I don't know if that is the case or not, but you know. I like I said, this is my addiction. If I have an addiction in this hobby, it's probably this right here. Talking with my friends, having more friends in the chat. Once I started doing live, I was like, yeah, I'm pretty good at bullshitting on the dime and not as good as Carlos, but I'm getting there. And so that's why I like it so much. And we're talking cardboard, so it can't be so serious. But like I said, I met 2 YouTubers Saturday for video games. That John Reese guy has over 200,000 subscribers. Yeah, and he has almost 70,000 views constantly. And on his last video, he was complaining because his view count is going down.
And he's small potatoes in the gaming side of things. He's small potatoes. He is a guy. So I'm familiar with him. I think I caught a little bit of what you were saying in that video, but he runs in a group with some other folks. That do
Metal Jesus.
YouTube. Yeah. So, and he's got a decent amount of subscribers. And there's a small group. There's a cohort of them that have a lot of, but again, think about that. These guys are not, they're not PewDiePie. They're not like the big.
That was my point.
Yeah, imagine a couple 100,000 subscribers, man. It's like, oh man, my views are going down. Oh man,
he's got a plaque on the wall, and he works full time, has a job, and he just does that for fun. You know, it's still part of his hobby. And then I met RNG Gamer. He still has. I don't think he's quite at 100,000 yet, but again, works full time and.
I think if he's not 100,000 by now, I think he should quit.
Well, I don't even think he's been doing it for 2 years. Video gaming, if you jump in hard with it, they can generate what you know.
Scott, if you're not 100,000 views, if you're not 100,000 subscribers within a couple of years in the gaming space, Scott.
Yeah, that's what I know. Well, I watch a few that have like 6 or 7, but they're niche. So niche or
Yeah,
whatever you would call it.
there
So,
is niches in all this thing. Yeah.
yeah. So Mike is busy with orders and stuff. I believe he worked today. So
Busy shipping all your SGC cards, Scott.
yeah, he's doing SGC. Well, one of them, that's what me, if y'all jumped in, you're wondering what me and Carlisle, man, I had a Allen and Ginter, Freddie Freeman short print or super short print, fielding a ball in the rain, which I was getting done just to sell. So, but they had it labeled wrong. So, and Carlisle caught it in the live. So, getting that sent back to get fixed and probably talk to Carlisle about it. Was it Ginter? I can't remember. Maybe it was Allen and Ginter. See, I probably got it labeled wrong too. So, whichever it is, but it was one of them. And yeah, but the rest of them look good. Got a Will Ferrell. Will Ferrell, for some reason, I mean, people love Will Ferrell. So I sold a couple last week at a pretty good price and got another one coming in to sell it good. So just to let people know why I had. Then I had a lot of WNBA cards. So they'll stay in the PC. But Brad, in the off season, still loving the cards you're getting and showing off. Had some great stuff came in from friends. That's always awesome.
Yeah.
But you being a football fan and football being all sports are year round, but football is really in the forefront more than other sports in the off season. Concerned. Any thoughts or anything that you have going on right now in the off season in football that's got you interested or anything? I do have a couple of questions for you, but I was just trying to get that one.
No, nothing that's really intriguing, really, of the off season so far.
Right. We talked about Aaron Rodgers before.
Jalen Ramsey hates where he is again, but that's a typical every 2-year thing.
Definitely interested, Batter.
So
yeah,
I'm dealing with that in Miami right now. But
so, and I've been seeing things coming out of Jacksonville, right, where that Hunter kid, they're thinking he's not taking it as seriously as he should be, and
well, that's just a personality difference between him and Brian Thomas. One's all business, one's
okay.
It's not that Hunter doesn't work hard. It's just one's flash, one's not. So it's the contrast, and somebody started that.
Right.
Yeah.
It didn't look too serious when I was watching it, but I was like, he ain't doing nothing else that nobody else does. I mean, it's OTAs. I mean, let's be real. It's like you got to break the monotony up a little bit somehow.
Right.
So it didn't. Carlos, you had a big sporting event in your area this weekend, a little golfing in the Toronto area. I think it was like
I've been paying too much attention. Was it
Canadian Open or something? Yeah.
Yeah, it was going to a bunch of extra holes when I quit watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't been as closely tied into the PGA for a couple of years. There was a time where I was really tightly watching it. It's a good thing if they're doing the Canadian Open. Then it's actually a good tournament. I will say it's actually a lot of fun. I don't know which place they would have put it in this time. They used to have a rotation, but now I know they move it around a little bit more.
Yeah, and my dad was saying it was like because he was asking me, "Don't you have friends in Toronto?" And so he said it's like an hour outside of Toronto.
Yeah, Ryan Fox won it on the 4th playoff hole.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
4th playoff. U.S. Open next week, always around 5. Yeah. I was in a wedding like one weekend, one year when the U.S. Open was on, and they couldn't find any of us, including the guy doing the clergy, the guy that was going to do the wedding. We were all in his office watching the U.S. Open.
About Oakmont, someone always gets hurt at Oakmont. So
yeah,
it's going to be interesting. Somebody always hurts their wrist in the rough.
Is that because is that one of those places got real bad rough?
Yeah, it's really
okay. That makes sense.
It's probably the hardest course in America, like without doing stuff to it.
Right.
You know how you can manipulate it, but
right.
It's
Well,
probably
I like it when they play like courses like that. Then they, when they shank shots and stuff, it makes me feel like, hey, I can't do that, but at least they do it too. I just do it more. So the young boy for Kristen Campbell hit a home run for Boston. He can stroke, man. Little dude, but he can stroke it. Have you been watching any baseball, Brad?
Nope. I have watched 2 innings this year, both Cubs games, because if I follow a team, that's who I follow.
Right. I know you're
They
not.
were actually kind of exciting to watch. They score a bunch of runs, it seems like. But
Well, the Cubs are good, man. I mean,
well, if they make the playoffs, that's when I'll tune back in.
okay.
But yeah,
Eric, when I said it, I knew what I said. When
2 innings I've watched this year. So
yeah. Yeah. So the other question I have, well, I see that they added, since this is the road to the National, they have added some Cubs to Thursday. This is only the second year I know of that they've added like people that are playing, during the season. I know one year at Cleveland they did that because Albert Pujols signed while they were in town to play Cleveland. So I like that. It's like 11 o'clock. So what's up, Hitman?
Hitman, what's up?
So Peter Crow, whatever, Armstrong, that should be still a Met, he's signing, and he $168 to get his signature. So I was like, holy smokes. I know he's good, but I don't know if he's that good. And the other one went, oh, no, there's more than 2 because those Dansby Swanson and Kyle Tucker. Kyle Tucker's going to be there too. So few bigger names. So that's interesting. I've been looking at the do you look at the autograph at all, Brad, when you go?
I'll look at autographs. No, like the only thing I ever looked for was Dan Marino doing photo ops, which he had never done one anytime at the National.
No,
because I'm not
got to run up to him and take a picture.
Yeah, that's the
I'll
thing.
run with you. We'll just run away.
I swear I'm not creepy. Okay, no. So that's the only thing I would have paid up for, just have like an official. But otherwise, I ain't paying for his autograph.
Right.
$400 or whatever. He charges a lot.
Yeah,
so I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, that's.
I'll just go buy his favorite.
Yes, $168 US, Carlisle. The it's not bad. They do have some cool names, like Adrian Beltre is going to be there first time. Some pretty good first time names. For me, like Randy White, Tony Dorsett, Dorsett if you're a Pittsburgh college fan, Pitt fan. I think I don't. Outside of that, Johnny Bench, of course, is going to be there. But some good names.
For me to get any autograph there, it would have to be a special piece that you can't buy. So like someone painted a lithograph for me or something like that.
Right. I got you.
That would be the only time I'd ever pay.
I was just wondering because I know you love your autographs. I do too. And I mean,
the prices they charge for them.
Yeah. And when I first was going, it wasn't that bad, right? It was doable. Get 4 or 5, get to shake some hands. I got to meet, some lifelong players I love, like Johnny Bench and Cal Ripken. But now it's like, once I've gotten Frank Thomas, once I'm past that, now, I'm not paying $200 to get Robin Yount. That's as much as I would love to get. He's a childhood player I love.
Carlisle, I do have a big fat head of him on my wall. I don't think I've ever shown that on YouTube. I need to do that. Stand beside it.
I'll buy a life-size cardboard cutout of Dan Marino, Brad. We'll get your picture done. There you go.
Brad, that will not quell the rumors of creepiness. Like you were running away from the rumors moments ago. I don't think that's gonna get you away from them.
We're gonna have to edit this. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, this happened to Eric once. You know, the Eric that I have to deal with, and that was the end of it. It was this hockey player he
Right.
made up with 14 syllable name. Like it's not even real, but he was even creeping on a fake guy. Like it was weird, man. It was weird.
When is he getting his? I mean, when is his eye going to be okay? So he's not wearing glasses and.
Okay, here's a reference for you. So here's a reference for you, Scott. You'll appreciate this. Do you remember Cowboy Bob Orton?
Yeah. And
I
with
think it's
the
just
cast
milking. I think it's
forever?
milking the injury. It could be years.
Well,
Like, he had his hand in a cast for like years.
yeah. I was just wondering the other night. Was like, is this going to be a shtick now, where this is your thing, or what's going on?
I can tell you that as far that right now at the moment the injury is still legitimate as it stands today. However, if he still has that eye injury in 6 months, I put the chances at 50-50. There's a good chance he could still have that eye injury going well into the the slow rowboat, the portage to the National 2026,
Right.
the slow crawl to the National 2027.
Right. Yeah. So, but a couple of now that we're talking about the national, thank you for bringing it up.
I'm a professional, goddammit.
So, couple of things. If you haven't been to their website lately, they've updated it. It looks a lot better, easier. It's always easy to navigate, but it just seems a little bit better now. If anybody cares, which I don't understand this premise at any card show, is Case Break, where you can't get into it while you're at the show. So Judge just hit a second home run, I guess. No, it's showing it from earlier. Okay. But they made it bigger. So 200 plus breakers, if anybody cares. I don't know, 7,000 streaming hours live from the National. So I don't understand. I haven't understood that. It's
7,000 streaming hours.
Yeah,
It's like
I
one
get
of my
up to
lives.
you, Scott.
It's like one live that I do. What
Yeah,
am I
that's
supposed to be
Friday
impressed by
night.
that? It's nothing.
That's a Friday night.
Because like I would get
7,000.
them showing up to promote, like, hey, you can join our breaks, and then sell cards with it or whatever.
Right.
I would get that, but yeah, I don't get it. I
You-
can't.
you- I have in all my years.
And this is a
unless
guy
I-
who does some case breaking. Like joins
I
some
will
cards.
too. If the price is right, I'll get in on a break. Yeah, Eric. So my question, I have yet to see where you can get into a break while you're there. Because the first year I went, it's been years now, but I was like excited because they're going to have breakers there. I was doing breaks. I was like, I'll do a breaks. Well, I was walking around like, how do you get into this? And it was like, you
They
have to get on your
pre-fill most of them.
Yeah, and I'm like, so why are they? You could do this from home. What are we doing?
You know what
just
would have been
taking
a
up
smart-
space.
Do you know what would have been a smart business move, Brad and Scott, if they had really wanted to do this? I would have put a couple of iPads in front of the booth and
Right,
had ways for people to actually pay for a spot on the break right on the spot, right there.
Right.
It would
And then
work.
literally we'll break the box. We're going to break the box in half an hour. If you want to get in on it, you've still got a couple of spots here.
Exactly.
Literally just press the buttons on the iPad. Here's your teams, blah, blah, blah. And there you go.
yeah,
that's
I
how-
100% them getting some of them being there because they're part of the industry. But yeah, to do, as you said, live case breaks that you join ahead of time for stuff, like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I can't help you because I don't get it either.
51 days battery, 51 days. Yeah, I have yet to understand. And then we got to see the damn guys for whatnot, and we ought to get together and just throw their asses out. But anyway,
Wow.
also-
That's pretty early you started that. All right.
Yeah.
I can't. We talk about before. A lot of people don't realize that they back up that backyard breaks. So people don't know, and a lot of people that watch that live, they laughed along with the joke, right? So they don't understand why other people, they don't even know that we're pissed off as a community. So I understand it, but for whatnot, and then like Carlos was mentioning on his channel, where they have them breaking at Fanatics, when they should be, just like my shit flushed down the toilet, right? And we let it keep going. Yeah, I think some are aware, Eric, and
I think most of them are. I think they've been mobilized by the Backroom Breaks guys, and they're like, go defend us on these various social media. The people that are watching it and are buying into it, they know what they're buying into. They don't give a shit.
Well, the old all publicity is good publicity, right?
I guess I you know, I don't know. I've seen people get canceled for way less.
Yeah.
So here's something I've never Barstool mentality. Yep. So here's the next thing that I think this is the first year they're doing, and I will be there on Tuesday, is VIP early pickup for Tuesday.
It's a good idea.
From 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. I've always gone in the past early on Wednesday to pick it up because, I mean, if you were there last year on that Wednesday, it was wrapped. The last 2 years, it's been crazy on Wednesday night to get in, where they had to let people in without it and tell them to come back and all that stuff. So, crazy night. So that's a smart move on them. And also, where you pick it up is, I read this and I didn't quite understand when I was looking at the map before. The Ludex VIP lounge, which is on the second floor.
Yeah, you go up the escalator, right?
So that's going to be nice where they opening up that big area for. I just hope it's not as loud as it was before. I hope it's more like Cleveland, where it was more chilled and relaxed. I just asked Google what's in 51 days. Their answer Saturday, May 3rd. Their answer is July 26th. Carlisle. So I thought that's a good thing. 3 nights again of trade night. So it'll be Thursday, Friday, Saturday from 6 to 11. So as soon as the show is over, trade night starts. I guess it'll probably be like they did in Cleveland up there. That's smart. The other thing I would like for them to do is just put out an area. They had plenty of area in Chicago before where they could have put tables and chairs out for people to do trades on the floor instead of sitting in the floor. Blocking up the walkway. So, last thing is with the addition of 40 booths, 75 tables, 50,000 square feet, 100 plus dealers is going to be what is added to this year's national. So my question, and I brought this up before, I believe, when Carlos is here. When is too big? Does the national need 100 more tables?
Well, can I go first, Brad? Can I go first?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm interested to see what you got to say.
So, Scott, you'll know it's too big when I open my door and say, fucking God, Scott, get back to your hotel and stop trying to park your car here.
Get back
That's when you know
your
it's too
border.
Get back across your goddamn border and and park somewhere else. That's when it's too big, Brad. That's when it needs to stop. At that point, it needs to stop.
Okay, well, I got it. All right, here we go. So he brought up Pokemon.
Yeah.
I want to know what this thing is called. National, what's the next word, Carlos? Help me out.
I believe it is sports.
Sports. So is Pokemon a sport?
Well, it
It is for the people fighting in Walmart. It is for the people fighting at Target.
No, so why is sport and even non-sport? I'm not saying they're not popular. I'm not saying they don't have a place. Why are they at the Sports Collectors Convention? Someone with common sense actually explain that to me.
Yeah, because I was at a game convention this past week and there was no sports cards.
Exactly.
Saturday.
And you
It
wouldn't
was
expect
PCG,
those
but it was no
sports
sports
cards.
cards.
So I don't know. That's my little and there's nothing wrong with that stuff. It's just why is that here? So we got that.
I hear what you're saying, and I understand it, but they've always been there. Now it's bigger than it's ever been before. So now you see it, It's in your face.
So if it's so big, have your own.
But see, Brad, if they did that, then they would put the Pokemon Expo in the convention center, and then they would move the National Sports Card Convention to the local bingo hall, because that's all you guys need.
Oh,
so
sorry, Ed. I don't know how long you've been sitting there, bud. Hi, bud.
He's making plans for the bingo hall.
But Ed, we can get Ed.
Ed loves his Pokemon, but
yeah, go ahead,
I'm
Ed.
just saying, at the Sports Collectors Convention, it shouldn't be there.
I just think Brad is downplaying Pokemon as a combat sport, because I've seen plenty of videos from grown men fighting in the aisles. Brad, that's a combat sport. I have favorite teams. I root them on. That's a sport to me, Brad.
So that's my hot take that shouldn't be hot, but
it's better than trail biking. It's more of a sport.
There are terminal illnesses better than trail biking, Scott.
That's a slippery,
I won't name any. I'm just saying there are a few.
That's a slippery slope, though, Brad. Because if you want to remove Pokemon, then we're going to have to remove a bunch of other stuff as well.
Yeah, we're removing non-sport too.
Yeah, history cards.
Sport. If you're going to call it the Sports Collectors Convention, everything has to do with sports. Call me crazy.
No golf cards.
So hockey's out. Hockey's out. That's not a sport. Football's rigged, so that's like professional wrestling. So that's out. Baseball question.
Yeah, no wrestling cards, Brad.
I was gonna say, like, get out of here. Like, that's pretty lame, man.
86.
Wrestling's a sport.
No wrestling. Oh,
sports entertainment, Brad.
Ooh,
it's athleticism, and they're athletic.
But you guys get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like that should be controversial. Don't call it the Sports Collectors Convention then. You know?
Oh, I don't think it's controversial, Brad. I think it's scandalous. They're two different things. I don't think controversy.
So go ahead, Ed. You were
Ed, as you were saying.
It's just always been there, though, Brad. So I mean, it's not going nowhere. It's not.
Oh, that wasn't the point
So
of my
I'm glad I only have 3 people watching. So I could still stand by you at the show. We're not going to get beat up by all the Pokemons.
The problem is, Scott, Ed is going to be at the Pokemon convention with everybody else.
See, what's going to happen is like, if they start, like, people start coming there dressing up as their favorite Pokemon, then we might have an issue.
I'm saying.
Yeah. So I don't.
But it is going to be a lot of Pokemon there. I can tell you, every card show I've been to this year, sports card show, but now they don't call it that. They just say card
which
show.
That's fine if you're not calling it.
And
as long as people know what they're getting when they're coming in.
At least 50-50, if not leaning TCG. So I don't think it's going to be leaning TCG, but out of those 100 dealers, I bet you a lot of them are going to be TCG, at least half of them. So, and the other half will have a Mickey Mantle sitting on the table.
52 tops. Mickey Mantle and Charizard, the 2 most popular entities
right beside each other. I still won't be able to find my Pete Alonso camo or clear card, which I've never seen a clear 2019. So there you have it. But that's me. That's my problems. That's my first world problems. So, you know, Eddie, love the video today. Great, or yesterday, I should say. At the beginning, it was you should get an acting award,
a Razzie.
I think I have I think I got a camera. I think I got it over there.
Well, we got hit. Like, I'm sure everyone here is well aware of the Cleveland news.
Yeah, the Cleveland. Yeah, that sucks because it takes away plays. But you know, I think I made a point in our group chat when we were talking about this, was like, I went to Raleigh yesterday. That place is humongous, that convention center. They got places all around there. They got just as many hotels around the convention center as the one in Chicago, and nice eating places all around there. So don't tell me Chicago is the only place that's like that. I just think Chicago and these other places are cheap enough, that it works. And, I think that's the only thing. And, I guess Atlanta, when you start talking about 100,000 people coming in for 4 or 5 days, these cities now are like, whoa, well, I mean, we'll give you a break,
It should be more than that, though. It should be more than 100,000, because 100,000 was 2 years ago, and they said last year the attendance was up. They didn't give a specific percentage on how much it was up, but they said it was up. So it's going to be more than 100,000.
Well, I like to know how they came across that number, because do they count like somebody like me that buys a VIP pass?
I'm assuming you're counted for 5 days.
Right? I don't.
Yeah.
So how does
the
that
way
work?
My assumption on how they count it is ticket sales, VIP sales, all the various VIP packages. Dealers are also included in there, and staff and corporate.
And they make it up.
It's very frustrating.
I'm with you, Eric. I think this.
But
I think that
my
one year
guess is every VIP pass counts for 5 days.
they come up with a number, a rough number, and it's like, okay, that's it. And I'm sure it's not exact, because nobody's sitting there with a little clicker. Click, click, click.
Well, the thing is, Scott, if you wanted to you could just count the tickets sold, because you still have to sell those tickets, and you've got
right.
those
But that's my question.
It.
It's like, not every VIP person goes in there every day, right?
No,
But does that really matter though? Like as long as the ticket's sold, would it make any difference?
Well, they were talking about how many people were actually in there. That was my question. Was like, if
so
they
that's,
said
I would almost 100% guarantee they count you 5 times if you buy a VIP pass.
yeah,
I think what they should do is they should just do this like the WWE and just pick bigger numbers every single time. It's like, listen, when you go to the National, again, you get off your rowboat, a couple of months from now, and you roll into the National, Scott, you and 757 million other people will fill up that place, and it will be amazing. And I'll be watching
stand up in
here.
in the middle and just for the millions and millions of my card show friends.
And then everybody's like, we're just here for the Pokemon. Shut up, Scott. We're just here for the Charizards, you bastard.
Shut up. I'm here for the Pokies.
Also, to answer your original question, I think how we started this is the National get too big. So the answer is no, but it's too big for the current venues. They keep trying to stuff it down.
Right. And people keep saying that the AC was broke last time. It wasn't broke. It couldn't handle the heat outside and all the people inside.
Rosemont definitely cannot sustain over 100,000 people. That's just, we've seen it can't. 2013 was a mess. It can't sustain it. And if this number increases,
2023 was even worse.
If it only increases, it's just going to be, you're just going to see the strain on the facilities be more and more apparent.
Right. I know the best place for air conditioning was the new side they opened last time by the autographs. That air was blowing really good over top of the shitters over there, because I said, I'll sit over here. This is
The thing is, the way Rosemont is built with all the separate rooms, that is a nightmare for any heating and cooling.
Yeah.
It's not just
it's built,
one big room, another big room.
It's not a square. It's like spokes.
Right. So that's a nightmare for.
Right.
So it just is what it is, like for that big.
Yeah, Carla. that I just think so. It was so. Well, the great thing is it's still a card show. It's not that 2023 was so hot in Chicago. Terrible thunderstorms.
Power went out.
Power
Yeah, it was
went out.
Wednesday, Thursday that was bad. Friday, Saturday was bad.
Yeah, Sunday was actually chilly in there. It was like I wish I had a sweatshirt on Sunday. That's, and like I said, if it's that hot, I'll probably find something else to do and go back when it's not as many people. So I had a bad experience at the old Detroit street circuit and don't have any plans to go back even in the new one. Well, I'm testing this year, and if I might be doing my card show at the National at home next year. I don't know.
So Scott,
Much
it was
as I-
hilarious to me. I heard for this National, again in the slow rowboat to the National this year, I heard Mike Baseball Collector, no less than anyone else, talk with Andy. She believed with refractors. He found him. And then they had a conversation, and I
He
didn't hear
found him.
rapturous praise. I didn't hear rapturous praise for the National. This was a man who was going to crawl over broken glass while lit on fire to go to the National before. And I
Yeah.
wasn't hearing that this time.
During COVID, it was like, I'm going no matter what, even if I'm the only one there.
Brad, I'm getting to you. I'm getting to you all. Slowly, I'm breaking you down. The not National is the way.
And this is the one thing
Bad
I'll say too
experience
for all these people. It's like anything in life. You go with the proper attitude, you're going to have a great freaking time,
Yeah.
even
Well-
with all these little inconveniences. But you
I
go
had a
in with
great
a bad
time.
attitude, all you're
Yeah.
going to do is focus on the little stuff you can whine about. So just
But
go with
that's
the
good
proper
enough.
attitude, and you will have a great time. I promise.
Fuck Chicago.
Wow.
You know,
Wow.
I tend to be more critical on Chicago post 2023 only because of all the bullshit that I had to see last year with Cleveland. I was telling about like in our friend groups and in group chats and stuff. After the National, I was like, did I go to the same fucking show as half the community? I was watching all these videos and I just heard like it was video after video after video after video of everyone just complaining about Cleveland, and all the things that they were complaining about was all shit that I experienced in Chicago the previous year. So I'm like, well,
I thought it was
like,
10 times better in Chicago.
I'm like, you guys like, wait till you experience Chicago when you're not across the street. Holy fucking shit! It's a different experience, fellas.
yeah, that's
If you think Cleveland's bad, wait, who doggy?
Yeah, this is true.
Well, I actually said this to Ed. I was like, Cleveland had so much potential to be the absolute best bar none. But because they couldn't use that other half of the convention center to use its space, it was just too small for what we had. It's just the facts. And then they didn't open up both areas until Friday to get into the parking lot. Like, how did you not think of that? You had years to think of that. It's like it was just so much little stuff that it would have been easily the best.
And then they took out the Ferris wheel. How dare them?
But
This is scandalous. Truly scandalous.
yeah, it would have easily been the best if they just would have used the whole convention center.
Yeah, I just think there's other places, right, that will work just as well.
Oh,
I mean, I keep going back to when Baseball Card Collector Mike interviewed the guy that was running it at the time and was saying only certain places could hold that many people, and we see that Chicago's not one of them. So what places are you talking about? So
because like you see where Fanatics Fest is. They're just willing to lose money on the Fanatics Fest.
right,
The National is not.
Yeah,
Right.
I was about to say
the National's
yeah,
a money grab compared to what the
Well,
Fanatics.
right, they're doing it for a different reason. So they're willing
Right.
to do it's like a loss leader. Like we're losing money
It is.
putting on this show, but we're planning
it's
on
a
making
plan.
more money later.
Yeah, because the one in New York is I think the Javits Center or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's,
Long
the thing
out.
is, the
That thing
Javits
is
Center
massive.
has more than enough space to hold something like that, but it will cost you $1 trillion. So your VIP pass will have 4 digits on it
Right.
if you wanted to do that. Good luck.
Yeah. Y'all have fun. I'll be here.
Yeah, that's basically it. So the only way, so you can't make that profitable. It is a loss leader. Like so Fanatics can show off all of its properties. Set up the WWE thing. Hey, you can walk down the aisle. Hey, Tom Brady will be here. but they're going to charge to the teeth for it. But they're still losing money. Even with that, they'll still lose money on
Right.
it. The Las Vegas convention has convention centers that can do it, but that will also cost a fortune. So the National wants to be profitable above all else. So y'all can go to your shack. Back to your shack.
Yeah, we've already figured out
Back
why
to Atlantic
the
City.
areas it's in. Yeah.
I'm almost willing to go back to Atlantic City if Chicago sucks again. I mean, I'd rather.
I believe that the Atlantic City Convention Center is slightly bigger than the Rosemont one, so it would be better.
I will tape phone books to my back and chest and run down the street hoping I don't get stabbed to make it there in Atlantic City. At least be in air conditioning.
And you know how anti-AC I was. You know, and I live near the area. It's only like a hour drive for me, but I would welcome it back, depending on how this 3-year
I like
grace
that
period goes with the National. I mentioned this 2 years ago, though. What's going to happen if 150,000 people show up to go to the National in Rosemont? What's going to happen?
Well, I don't think they're all.
You ever
there
read
at
Lord
the
of the
same time.
Flies? You ever read Lord of the Flies?
I can't believe at the last
That's
one
a
the
manual.
fire marshal didn't show up.
They're going to need an attendance cap. And
On
I said
Thursday
this.
or
I
Friday.
said this 2 years ago, and everyone was like, "You're absolutely insane. That is never ever going to happen." But I've seen it happen before at major conventions. It's happened at Anime Expo. It's happened at Otakon. They've had to install an attendance cap because the facility just can't hold that amount of people.
Oh, hold on. You went to a con that just said screw it, everybody stinks, and it was called OdorCon.
No, Otakon.
Oh, okay.
The Odor Con is a given. That's not the same thing.
Okay, I was like, wait a minute. You
No.
just said screw it. We all stink. We're OdorCon.
No. Otakon.
Okay.
They're still around there. They're in Washington, D.C. now. At one point, they were the second largest anime convention behind Anime Expo. Anime Expo is the top dog in that convention space. But getting back to the point, like I said, what happens if 150,000 people show up to go to the Donald E. Stevenson Center? You can't have 150,000 people in that convention center. It's a fire hazard, period. So what are you
Ed,
going to
why
do?
don't you do what I've been proposing? And Brad, I've been on this train a long time. I feel like we should do human experiments at this point. So what you do is you cut off water, you cut off power to part of the building. Let's see how many of you survive. It's attrition. Whoever makes it to Sunday is the ultimate winner. You get a
And you know
52 tops mantle.
You can
But
get
you must
in any
survive.
door, but only one exit works.
Scott, this is what I'm trying to get at. Basically, this is how we call the herd.
And it's by the Pokemon cards. So you
Yes. You do this, as the great patron saint Ivan Drago once said, if he dies, he dies.
Oh, great.
This
Think of
year's
the
going to be
content.
this year's going to be the litmus test, though, to see what happens, because
For 3 years, they chose to have it
And
here
this
for 3 years in a row. I hope it works for them and for us. It's going to work for them. They already got their money. You're right. I know when I came last year, I showed up one day a little late, or the last time we were there. I came around the corner, and when they let the people go across the street, it was mob rule. It was a half a block wide and just street packed of people going across to get in. And I was like, oh my God, I had never seen a crowd like that at one of the shows. And I had to park up on the roof, and it took me 2 days to get out. And
I've been thinking more about the whole attendance cap thing that I presented, like I said, 2 years ago. I brought this up, but the more I think about it, I think it's, especially if the numbers go up, it's an inevitability for Chicago. There's a heavy police presence that's at the Rosemont Chicago show. So shortly, all these police officers are going to see if you have 150,000 people, they're going to realize, oh shit, this is a fire hazard. Like, we better call the fire marshal to do something about this. They have to know the number on the amount of people going in there. They have to. They're just not telling us that number.
Yeah. Now the loophole to the fire marshal rule, the guy who does a lot of this business, is let's say you're allowed to have 80,000 in that main room. Well, they just go off the number it says it's allowed to have. That doesn't include the tables. So when you have 80,000 plus tables, it is a fire hazard, but they can get away with it because it says, well, 80,000, we're at 78, but they're not counting the table space. You know, that's how they get around it, probably.
I think that's also why they're using the second floor
Yeah.
move, because they're trying to buffer people around the
Right.
building.
Everything's supposed to be spread, is what they're hoping. And that people just kind of naturally do it. Like, oh, this is crowded over here. Let me go over here. You know.
Oh no,
It's going to be interesting. I'm going to
It's
have
gonna
fun
be-
watching. And
Carlos is going to get a fuck ton of content out of it.
yeah, he's-
That's all I-
It was so good. I'm gonna be
It's
one
like,
call to the
part of
national guys.
experience, you know?
I'm gonna be calling to the national guys, and you're gonna find out it's me behind the scenes. So now cut the power to the whole building. Let's play this out.
so I know now why the Philly show lost power because Carlos was calling in. It's
Praise the
same
content
people running.
gods always. Praise the content gods always.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for it, but I wouldn't have much of a channel if we didn't have something to talk about. It would just be a boring show. Be like, yeah, so. But here's the positive side, Brad. What is on our mind this year? Last year I was there when you bought the cleat card, right? So, and I know you don't go in really with much of a plan, but is there anything that you are kind of looking for or anything?
Pretty much. I would say anything from 03 to 2015, like Dolphin stuff in general, game use stuff. And that's my wheelhouse. Like that's what's going to get me excited when I walk by a table, you know?
Right.
Now, there's some cards before and after, of course, that I wouldn't mind. But that's the niche of what I'm looking for when I go in there. So, like, there's a 5-star quotables in Marino, but it's numbered to 10. What's the chances you're seeing it there? I've seen 3 of the 10 ever, and I know where 2 of them are. You know, so
Right.
like, you know, there are cards on a list. I do have a list of like 20 cards on it. But the problem is with my list, it's possible I don't see any of them.
Right.
It's not like, you
Now,
know,
is
like
that
we're going to a
because it's,
vintage set.
Is that because it's like low count numbers or higher, 1 of 10s or
Right. And
things
it's all
like
product
that?
that's been broken and collectors have it. So
Right.
unless collectors sold it to them, they ain't got it. You know,
Right. I got you.
flippers don't have this stuff. You know,
Right. I got you.
That's the problem.
That's the problem I have with trying to find some certain Pete's, from his rookie year. I have, if I didn't get it that year, it's gone. Right. I knew I found a couple when, he was questionable about staying with the Mets. I knew stuff was going to start hitting because nobody thought he was going to re-sign with the Mets, including me. So I knew stuff was going to hit the sales block and I had to be ready for it, which I picked up some nice stuff. But, now he's having a good season, so it's going to be tough for me again. But there's always stuff out there. Like I said, are you Wednesday through Sunday or what's
I
your...
arrived Tuesday as well. I think around 3:00.
Oh, okay, cool. It's coming
Day
out Tuesday.
0, baby. Day 0. You got to get there on Tuesday.
You got to do both.
Is Eric still in the chat? I want to hear
Eric's-
Eric say day 0.
Day 0. And you have a hotel room, right? Across the street.
Yeah, I'm at the Crown, yeah. I got on there literally the day it went on sale, August 18th.
Oh,
To give
great.
you guys an idea of when they started selling. Me and Nathan, Scotty Tradition, both got on there and did it the same day.
So y'all, okay.
I
was
just
gonna
appreciate
say-
Ed's restraint because originally, prior to that, he was messaging me and he said he was going to start building a Unabomber style shack in the parking lot like next week. Like he wanted to, he didn't want to wait for the rowboat. He's like, he's just going to build a shack there. He'll be there, by the time you guys show up.
Because this is actually something that doesn't get talked about. I should have made something. When
Unabomber style shacks in the parking lot. Go on.
No, but when people are looking for hotels, they don't let you book until a certain time. So a lot of times you will look,
Correct.
let's say you looked August 15th, it's going to look sold out for the days you need because they're just not for sale yet. So a lot of people look at it and then they give up, not realizing, no, it's just not eligible for that date yet. So that's just something to, when it gets into the middle of August, just check their websites. You know, go straight to that hotel website. Don't go through a third party. Go
Yeah,
straight
'cause
to
they
that
only
website.
got with so many rooms.
Well, that's why you have to do it.
Yeah, I was doing that because
Yeah.
we got the Airbnb like the week after the last year's show.
I actually
we
think
just-
it was during the National last year that Mike booked it.
No, we were talking about it. I came when we got I got home and I started looking the next day, and me and Mike Fabian was talking about it. He found that house and he went ahead and put it on hold. So it was like within a week.
I could have swore it was like the Monday, like literally the Monday after.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. Yeah,
That's
so
just a thing for people when they look. You think,
Yeah.
oh, they're already sold out. No, it's not for sale yet. But it isn't
Yeah,
like it used to be where you could get a room in January.
right.
They're gone by September.
Yeah.
Probably Labor Day.
And I mean, and again, with all, I mean, I just said they added 40 booths. So the people that are there running the booths have priority over those rooms anyway.
Right.
They
That's why
got-
less are available than it used to be.
Yes.
Honestly.
You start adding all those people, damn near probably fill up a whole hotel, if not do. So, is it really a road to the national if Carlos is on? Praise
Dom.
the content gods.
First of all, I appreciate the hashtag. Secondly, Dom, there is no road to the national. The road to the national is a myth. Now, if you're lucky, if you play your cards right, I can probably get Eric in on this. He can give you a piggyback ride to the national. And that'll take about the amount of time that's appropriate. So you should be there right in time to hang out at the cookout at Ed's Unabomber style shack in the parking lot.
Yeah, but you know, you're going to be sitting home listening
Yes.
to every night.
Yeah, oh yeah. I'm not going there like an
listening to
idiot.
Everybody calling me, calling Ed.
Yeah.
All
I'll
your
be hearing the
buddies.
wails of the peasants off in the distance. If
Yeah.
the wind hits just right. Oh, air
I'll
conditioning.
probably
Oh.
call into your show on Friday night while when the power goes out.
Listen, Scott, I would never wish ill on any of you. I hope it's 107 every single day before the humidity kicks in.
People are going to be
that'll make
dying
it-
in their shacks.
I think what
Look,
I've been
Ed,
looking-
the point that I want death. All I'm asking, I don't ask for much. All I'm asking for is death. That's it. For the content gods. Don't do it for me. Do it for the content gods.
Dr. Carlos spreading a dangerous populist message on the Big Scott Network.
Listen, I'm not that kind of doctor that actually helps people. I didn't make any such promises. Just saying. And it'll fix your population issue, Ed. You're saying they can't fit all these people. If a bunch of people die, then you have plenty of space.
Then you
I'm
sit
solving
down
your problem.
comfortably and look. I mean, the one thing is a guarantee. Day one, somebody will walk in and buy out all the dollar thing cards.
That happens on day 0, sir.
Yeah, whatever. Last year, I didn't even see it set up, so I don't even know why they even come. Just call whoever does it every year and just tell them we got your cards. Just come and get it. So
Not wrong. Not wrong. I'm a hobby doctor. I didn't make any other promises. That's all I said.
yeah, hobby doctor. Yeah, so that's kind of like Brad what I'm doing. I'm thinking like a small list, but I'm not definitely not sticking to it. And like I've been saying, I'm going to wait probably till Saturday, Sunday before I really even start buying anything that worth, unless there's something I'm like, oh, there's a 101 I got to have, but I doubt that that's going to happen. I've done so well last 2 years on Saturday and Sunday. Saturday evening, Saturday around 1:00, that place starts emptying out, and and then Sunday, Last year, Cleveland was a ghost town, and Chicago the year before Sunday.
Thank you, Eric. Rare and fair, freaking buy it. Because this is a good story. Because this is my one card regret of the National was my very first year. Because you know how they always tell you,
Take the
don't
loot.
buy the first thing you see at a table. Okay, and I still don't own this card, and it's a weird card. A lot of people know Thurman Thomas, who's mainly a Buffalo Bill, right? Well, he played with the Dolphins his last year or two, so he has two nice patch autographs in Dolphins uniforms, right? So very rare to find. 15 immaculate, 15 flawless. All right. Well, the 15 immaculate was sitting there at $45.
Oh, buy it.
Exactly, Ed. What the hell was I thinking, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's the first table. I'm not going to buy it right away, right? That's what I heard 18 billion times before I came to the show, right? So I literally an hour later, I'm like, dude, what am I doing? I'm just going to go back and buy that thing, right? No, it was gone. Because
Motherfucker.
it's rare and fair, right? I would pay $80 for that card right now, you know?
Right.
And it's like, but that was like the one card that I missed out on. And it was all because I just didn't want to pull the trigger because all I heard the whole time leading up to it was, don't buy the first thing you see. Well, in my case, the kind of stuff I'm chasing, you do buy the first rare and fair thing you see,
Right.
Because it ain't going to be there in 2 hours. So, yeah, there you go. That's my one card regret from.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I did that with Gretzky Auto. It was a really good on-card in-person auto. Good price. Went ahead and picked that up like first day. And a Stormtrooper 1977 card. I went ahead and picked that up. Good price. And those cars are about 4 or 5 times more than were when I bought them now because of now it's been a few years now, 8 years ago. But yeah, I do the walk around and then if I see something, I will pick it up if it's too good to be true or something I really want. I'll just go ahead and pick it up. And but yeah, last couple of years, I picked up some really nice autos on Saturday evening on Sunday. So kind of sticking with that. Other than my my Princess Leia auto I got a few years ago. I got that on a Friday. It took me 2.5 days to find it, but I got it. Exactly. If it's a good deal on something that's hard to find, you pick it up, whether it's day one or even a month before the show. Never understand why everyone insists on holding on their money. Yeah, I actually picked up a really good, I've been watching a card, auto, Pete Alonso. The guy sent me an offer, a counter offer. He accepted it. I bought it this week. I have a David Wright tonight that I'm hoping to win on auction. So I'm hoping that comes through. It's out of 25. So yeah, if it's there, I'm with you. But I'm also, I told this to Eric last week. I saved for this show because it's my vacation, and part of my having fun is to go to the show and pick up cards. If I spend my money.
Oh, and
then
what do you guys do? Because I tell people to bring cash, but it's not for the reasons everyone explains. I bring cash so I know what my budget is.
That's a big you know where to stay.
I don't know if any of you guys just do it because of that. Like,
I don't do it.
Hey, here's what I can spend on cards.
Right. That's how it started for me when I went to shows. But then I fast found, like everybody, cash is king. Yesterday I was at that retro gaming, and so many people were using credit cards and debit cards at this show. All the dealers had, machines, but they were charging, tax or whatever. And it was, some of that stuff is pricey. Not one thing about gaming is not as, unless you're buying the actual gaming devices, a lot, gaming is not as expensive overall as cards. Cards can be cheaper, but I think overall we play in we have commas. There's not too many commas in games unless you're going for some very rare stuff. But most people go for the Mario Brothers, which you can get for $30 or whatever. But back to what I was saying, I had cash. I took what I wanted to spend, that I allowed myself to spend, and people were so happy when I was doing cash. I was like, yeah, I don't understand. And they said, this is the way it is at our shows. It's different world. So yeah, I'm glad you said that for a reason. I'm glad I didn't give that tip, so nobody can still smack me at a show. So if you see Brad, he gave that tip. You can smack him. So, but yeah, that is one of the reasons why I take it, because once that's gone, it's gone. That's
Right.
it. That's it. And my goal is to always come back with money. If it's $1, I feel like I won.
Right. Yeah. My 3 years, 1 year spent all but $20. The second year had $400 coming home. And then last year, I think it was about $13. So, but that was because of the big Marino, basically, did that.
Right.
But
Yeah. I saw some great cards. Last year I was in the right place at the right time for some great purchases. When I see somebody get something that they really like, and I know people have been with me when I got stuff that I'm shaking as I'm counting my money out. It's just something special in that moment. That is fun to be with your friends or somebody in that moment to share it with. That's always great. I lined up my big pickup of the national trip last year before I went to the show. Thrilled to have a Johnny Unitas rookie. There you go. I would love to have a Johnny Unitas rookie in my collection. That'd be Johnny U. Is that a big card, Brad, in the football world? The Johnny U rookie still has to have some weight to it, right?
It still has juice, but it's not like the baseball stuff.
Right. That's I had you on my last show
Well,
talking about vintage football. How it's so much
and it's
different.
also the difference in collectors. See, especially as we started, football collectors are primarily team collectors.
Right.
They root for teams.
Right.
NBA people buy players. Okay, this is the way it's always been, for the most part, until recent with the flippers. But so that's why the vintage. Not everyone goes, "Oh, I need to own a Johnny Unitas."
Right.
Like everyone says, "I need to own a Roberto Clemente." Or whatever.
Right.
The mindset's not the same. It's like same with sets. Why you don't see the football collectors collect the sets as much is because what do I want with Buffalo Bills cards? I freaking hate the Bills. Why do I want them? Because my mindset comes from a team standpoint, not a player standpoint.
Right.
So that's why you see the difference too. You see, and it just doesn't have the rich history.
Well, I mean, once you leave my Mets, you're dead to me. The only thing that changes for me is I think I'm such a Pete Alonso fan. There's only a couple of teams he could go to that I wouldn't buy his card. It's kind of same with Juan Soto, but I don't really collect Juan Soto like I do Pete Alonso. Pete Alonso for me is, it's one of my top guys. Just like to watch him play. So if he went to anywhere but New York or LA, maybe the Cardinals, and I think I could probably stomach him on the Cardinals, but Dodgers or the Yankees, I probably could, or the Phillies, those teams I could. And I'm not just saying that because it's here. It knows. It's the same way with Soto and the Mets. I've gotten some great Sotos from it.
I got more available at the National, son. Definitely have to move on from some more Sotos.
Yeah, I got you, Harry. I was. That's what I was saying. Johnny Football. I saw a young man at GameStop sending a RPA of Johnny in for grading. So, like I said,
guys like that, they're one of the rare guys where their college cards are worth more than their NFL cards.
right.
Tim
Right.
Tebow, a Gator uniform is worth more than a Denver. So it's interesting with those college legends like that.
Oh, okay, 400 to 500. Yeah, that's
Oh yeah, they're just. But
Yeah, 'cause,
I'm
I mean-
given the mindset of why, and that's why.
yeah.
You just don't have the same.
Yeah, because I like, he's definitely in my mind's list of greats that I would like, to own rookie card of. That's definitely, my dad talks about him like he walked on water. So also find that football guys collect the game more than baseball guys. Being cheaper means you can do it more. Baseball is just so expensive you can't finish some of these sets or collections. So I hear you there. So anybody got anything to add before we take off tonight?
Yeah,
Well, I think
speaking of
Scott,
Soto,
Go ahead.
speaking of Soto, Carlos, have you moved on from Soto, or are you still picking up?
No,
the
I'm
start
not a
here now?
quitter. I'm not a quitter, Ed. It's not how this works. Real fans, real men stick with their conviction.
How
They
did I
don't
know you were
abandon
gonna
ship
go
at the
this
first
route?
opportunity. They don't abandon at the first sign of thing. He was never on my team. I don't care. It's like I don't have that issue. What I've done is I've consolidated out of some of them and I've actually keep my eye open if I want to pick up something. But I'm going to have at least a representation of all the different stops of all the different teams. But why? I don't care what team is on. I'm a player collector more than a team collector.
Is it bad that I can't think of who like the Blue Jays' #1 rival would be? I don't really. Do they have a true rival, the Blue Jays? I don't think they do.
No, there
Oh,
are
it's like-
teams that have been obstacles in the 90s. The Oakland A's, because they were playing them in the ALCS, and then a couple of different times the Royals have randomly prevented them from going to the World Series twice. So that might be but no specific rival. Division wise, the teams play each other, but the Yankees, Red Sox are doing their own thing. The Rays really aren't anybody's rival. So division wise, it's never been a thing.
It's definitely not the Phillies because they couldn't beat them. So you got to have a shot.
So it's not an issue there, and it's not like the Atlanta Braves. They played in the World Series one. That was no issue.
Right.
It's fine.
You're not going to get it. That microaggression is not going to work on me, son.
I didn't think it was a micro. I thought it was macro.
Hey, listen, look, just Scott. We should just have a video tribute for Cap Anson, and it will be fine. That's all he needs. That's all he requires here. So anyway, Scott, to your question, I think the correct move here, the obvious move, is we've got to go with last tips for the rowboat to the National. Wear steel-toed boots, steel-toed comfortable shoes, because during the battle of the war, you may want to bring weapons. You might need the Pelican cases because then you can use them as a shield to defend you.
Well,
And when the Lord of the Flies rules take over.
I think when the vintage lines up on one side of the building and modern lines up on the other side, and they shall meet in the middle, that's when you need all that protection.
I was gonna say, are you doing a West Side Story? Is that is that
What
what's
is
going
this,
on?
North versus South? What is this, Gettysburg?
And in this battle, I'm like, I hope you all have fun. Whatever works.
It's going to be a dance off.
Yeah. There were no winners.
And it just us collectors just stand on the outside to see who wins. We just, us that don't claim any allegiance.
Brad wants to get rid of the Pokemon, but I say get rid of all the Cap Anson cards from the National. Make the National a Cap Anson free sports card show.
Wow. He wants to get rid of the sports cards, is what I'm hearing. He goes, get rid of the sports cards. Keep the Pokemon.
Because if you get rid of Pokemon, you get rid of all non-sports. There goes with Star Wars, there goes wrestling,
Hockey.
I'm just
All the non-sports.
bicycling cards.
Pretty much.
Boxing is fixed, so we know that's
Yeah,
fake.
well, and TKO owns the UFC. They own WWE, and they own the UFC, so that's fixed too.
Yeah,
That's no good.
Don't forget your Confederate cards there, Dirty South.
that's what I said earlier. All the historical cards. So, it'll be 16 tables left if Brad had.
So basically, what Ed is pitching is for 100,000 people congregated around one table with 3-1 Soto cards and a single, beat up Johnny Unitas rookie. That's the entire National.
And a bunch of 52 Manals. Because of course.
Might have the whole stack of them. Everybody gets one.
You get one. You get one. Yeah. So you got anything, Brad, before we go?
No, I think that's all I got. I'm excited to see y'all again.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Hang out. Star Trek ain't a sport, but Star Wars should be. Your Schwartz is bigger than my Schwartz. But anyway, thank y'all for coming in tonight. I appreciate y'all. Another fun night on a weird and wacky week in our community. A lot of strange things happened, and we had fun with it, and some more than others. So until next time, like, share, tell a friend,
And quit. All of you need to be quitters. Just quit.
And the honey
Quit while you're
badger
behind.
is out. See ya.